Welcome back to Disco Elysium, Night 5. I don't anticipate tonight being a very long session. I'm getting started kind of late here, but I really wanted to hop back in. Goals for the day. I want to talk to Everett Clare. I want to talk to the union leader. And I also want to explore the bookstore, which apparently has a fridge within it that can house our dead body, preserve it before we ship it away. Gives me a longer window of opportunity to steal me them boots. Last time we had done a whole bunch of things. We had gotten a reality lowdown from Joyce. She told us about the revolution and, you know, a whole bunch of history stuff. We got a whole bunch of information from the supreme racist gentleman, Measurehead, I believe he goes by. We had figured out which of the lorry drivers was responsible for carting drugs in through Terminal B. And it's some woman who changes her hair color often, I believe. We gotta find her. I think that's about it. That was the big stuff that we did. So we gotta figure out how to get past Measurehead without becoming a racist ourselves. I don't remember if we talked to Joyce about figuring out the drug stuff. I don't think we did. I think we talked to Kitsuragi after we broke into the lorry, of the drug dealer's lorry. So order of business. Why don't we head back to Joyce, tell her what we found, then we'll head to the bookstore, see if we can uncover the curse that Annette, I believe, the daughter of the bookstore owner. She told us there was a curse on the bookstore, and that's why she's not allowed in the basement or in the back rooms or anything like that. But since we're a cop, we might be able to get back there ourselves. Then after that, let's try to figure out how the heck to get past our favorite racist, huh? Let's do. Okay. So as we always do, take a look at our shit to start off. Oh yeah. Apparently, whoever's carting drugs through Terminal B was also present at the lynching. There was one unaccounted for boot print at the site of the lynching, and we believe that we found our girl. Which would imply that the Hardy Boys, who were also present at the lynching, would know who this is. Who's carting drugs. Find your heraldic bird. Heraldic? The working class woman said that you're a bit of a cockatoo. Oh, that's right! We talked to a working class woman and basically just made her head spin. By, you know, trying to convince her that either her husband, children, or pet cockatoo were all missing. And she's like, I don't even have a fucking cockatoo. You're the cockatoo, bitch. So maybe we are the cockatoo. In fact, we'll have to get to the bottom of it. Prove your authority to Titus Hardy. This, though. We fucked up this roll. We, as if you're responsible as well. I rolled terribly. I must have pissed off the gods or something. And I failed like a 92% check or something. But now we still gotta do that. And then we gotta, the most important one on the list is to find some speed and sniff the shit out of it. We got a full day ahead of us, looks like. Some of these bottles, we can, yeah. Take the bottles. How do I get out of here? You gotta go faster, though. Okay. Okay, so let's head for Joyce. We talked to Tommy yesterday looking for information on the who the lorry belonged to, and apparently he's pretty tight with her. So he felt bad ratting her out. I didn't want to put him through that. Hey, grab the bottles. Fake. Fake. Are we working on a thought cabinet right now? Jamais vu. Not a long one, so hopefully should be done soon. Sweet. Alright, to Joyce. I was thinking today how badly I want to do a cover of this piece of music. Arrange it. Probably on the guitar. Joyce.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Well, I spoke with the lorry men at the roundabout.
Yes, my eyes on the harbour have sent word to that effect. What have you discovered?
New skill point, nice. I believe we should have a number of those. Wait, where exactly are these eyes located?
It doesn't really matter, and I do apologize for the surveillance. Wild Pines can't afford to be blind at a time like this. In any case, it's a relief to know someone has looked into it. If I may ask, will there be an official investigation? I assume you discovered there is an operation.
If there is an investigation, it will be part of an ongoing operation, subject to confidentiality. I am sure you understand.
Of course, detectives. In any case, you've held up your end of our arrangement. I trust you with the rest. Now it's my turn.
Heck yeah.
I wouldn't normally break protocol like this, but the situation demands it. If you don't solve this murder, I'm afraid we may have a bloodbath on our hands.
What was that about, a bloodbath?
Yes. I'm afraid this strike may descend into a small-scale civil war, with possible consequences for all of Rivershoal West.
Since you are sharing, ma'am, this is also the RCM's worst-case scenario.
Then we're on the same page, as grim as it may be.
Tell me again, how are the lynching and the strike connected?
I have an indirect role to play, I'm sad to say. My employer experienced a momentary lapse of faith in me. In that moment, they elected to deploy a private military contractor as an insurance measure. They called it my security detail.
A momentary lapse of faith.
They were dispatched after I relayed the union's initial offer.
Every worker...
A member of the board. I tried to convince my employer it was simply a piece of rhetoric, or a joke. They did not appreciate the humor.
You need a security detail?
Absolutely not. These mercenaries are muscle, pure and simple. They are meant to intimidate the Union into surrendering.
Who are they, exactly?
Crenell, an Oranese military company. As far as I know, 3 arrived in Martinez. They report to me sporadically, but they do not answer to me. To be frank, our relationship is deteriorating. They wear ceramic armor, have semi-automatic weapons, and years of combat experience. They also have trauma and stressor disorder, and no idea how to conduct themselves in an urban civilian environment.
So, what happened?
The story is, one of them, the Colonel, I don't know his real name, sexually assaulted a local woman while he was drunk and separated from his unit. This allowed some of the more militant Union members to subdue him.
It's gotta be our lynched man, right? That's what Titus was talking about.
He was taken out behind the whirling in rags and lynched last Sunday night.
What then?
Nothing. Mr. Clare refuses to let me into the harbour. I have not been able to discuss this matter with anyone there. The remaining 2 Crenell contractors carry out their orders, for now.
For now.
It's a smokescreen. In secret, they are conducting an independent military tribunal into the lynching. Once this investigation is concluded, executions will follow.
What is the nature of this so-called investigation?
Whether to execute one, some, or all of the Union militants.
I have to say, this is not disco.
It is very far from disco. My only hope is that you provide a single, concrete suspect before the mercenaries indiscriminately pick theirs. Simply put,
He grabs hold of the mainsail.
if you don't pin this on someone good, and do it fast, They will identify and execute everyone present at the lynching. This in turn will force the Union to respond.
The Debarders have over 2,000 men. It will be 1,000 to 1.
Have you ever seen a hornet invade a beehive, Lieutenant? It's not pretty.
The Serai's giant hornet, the world's second largest insect, can kill 40 honeybees a minute, while a group of 30 can decimate an entire hive of 20,000 bees in less than 4 hours.
These men work in tandem using semi and fully automatic firearms. Their armor is virtually impenetrable to muzzle-loaded weapons, even yours. Most Union workers don't have guns at all.
The muzzle loaders need to be reloaded after every 1 or 2 shots. The automatics every 1 or 2 minutes.
As I said, a bloodbath.
See, Kim, this is the great bloodletting I've been telling you about.
It appears you found it, yes. And I'm not happy for you.
I mean, well, the truth is, I see this absolutely devolving into a disgustingly violent affair. I think the confrontation is inevitable.
It doesn't have to be like this.
She looks at you, eyes
Nameless,
danced from the wind.
Badgeless officer of the citizens' militia. One single concrete suspect delivered into civil court, a good one, and I may be able to defuse this situation.
Can you tell me about Krenel?
Not much. Their public resume is relatively good, as far as private military contractors go. I believe they were once called Downwell. They boast a long list of clients: Saint-Baptiste, Welchman Lorenz, Eendracht. A warning sign, however. The operations concerned all take place in third or fourth world countries. Guarding facilities, escort missions and such.
Meaning they're used to operating in war zones.
Yes. All the good conflict corridors, Supramundi, Yesut, the Seminese Islands, countries that don't have a good record reporting atrocious military conduct on their soil.
Sounds like maybe the colonel went a little native during the course of his duties.
I wouldn't go as far as to use that term, detective.
What, going native?
Yes.
Feels like there's a good response here, but you're not coming up with one.
Damn it.
Carry on.
Oh, I missed it by 1. Okay, anything else you got on them?
Sadly, no. Before this happened, I had little interest in them. Now that I do, I don't have the resources.
She thinks.
If you still have access to the ICP's database,
The insane clown
you
posse's,
could run a better
yeah.
background check than I ever could. It may take some time, though.
She thinks.
Do you know a lot about the inner workings of the RCM and the ICP, man?
In my line of work, it pays to do your research. I was prepared to deal with the RCM. I did not think I'd be dealing with a group like Crenel.
Did you contact the company? Tell them to call them off?
I have. And they will. However, these orders take time to reach what is basically a rogue unit out in the field here. Until they do, it's all on us.
This is a cool conversation. It's making it feel like the players involved have a lot more stake and a much larger role to play in the events transpiring. Like, it feels like, 20 years in the future we'll read about Joyce in a history book or something like that. It's cool. It makes it feel grander.
She's being truthful. She is pressing them as hard as she can.
You said the deceased assaulted a woman?
Or he didn't. This is information passed on to me from some teenagers loitering around the canal. I cannot testify by it.
Who did the passing on, then?
The remaining contractors. Their tribunal. It's what they believe.
What did these teenagers by the canal say?
That the man was killed because he assaulted a local woman. I've asked around a bit. This seems to be the accepted story around Martinez.
The lieutenant consults his notebook, his eyebrows knitted in concentration.
Odd. We haven't heard any reports about an assault in connection with the lynching. Where did it take place? And when?
We did, though. The Hardy Boys told us that he raped a woman.
Last Sunday night, at the Whirling in Rags. The hostel by the gates. Supposedly, the colonel was drunk, maybe on narcotics too. Either way, he's alleged to have sexually assaulted a woman. Sometime later, a group of dock workers got their hands on him.
And who was this woman?
That's a good question, officer. I don't have the slightest idea. As I said, it's a rumor. About a rumor. In any case, it's what the colonel's remaining colleagues believe.
This colonel, the one who was hanged, did you know him?
If you mean did I see him alive, yes. But I did not know him.
His name was...
Lely. His service name.
Lely?
Nom de guerre, most likely. He wouldn't divulge his full name. Only one of them did. A bad sign if there ever was one.
Tell me about the others first.
One is a man. Corty, they call him. A nickname as well. The other a woman. Phyllis DePaul. Corty is the gunner, I believe. DePaul is a radio operator.
What would you say was his eye color? The deceased's.
She closes her eyes, trying to picture the man's face, then shakes her head.
I can't remember.
There's a pang of regret to her voice.
The lieutenant was testing her, asking a small detail first to see if she knew him better than she let on. She passed.
That's all right.
Smart, Kitsuragi.
Anything else? Nationality? What would you say was his age?
He was 40. Or 50. It's hard to say which. He had a combat injury on his lower jaw. It made it difficult to estimate his age, or gauge his facial expressions.
Indeed. This matches the dental
Bubble
reconstruction
up.
we saw on the body. What else? Nationality? Accent?
He was, Occidental, I think. Light brown hair, a mixed accent, Oranese, or Messinian, maybe. His injury gave him an accent all his own.
And that seems to corroborate the ethnicity we gave.
Lieutenant is pedantically happy about it. Where are the remaining two mercs now?
They've gone to ground, as it were. I don't recommend seeking them out. For one, they're almost certainly armed to the teeth. They don't have the same respect for the Revachol citizens' militia as I do. To put it bluntly, they think you're vigilantes. Ghetto savages. It will not be a fruitful meeting.
They just need someone to put the fear of Revachol into their hearts.
Did you miss the part about ceramic armor and automatic weapons, Detective?
No.
That is a bad idea.
Oh,
I won't
easy
be a
read,
party
bro.
to.
She shakes her head emphatically.
One is obviously the scab leader at the harbor gates. The one chanting the idiotic slogans. He's barely maintaining his disguise.
Cool.
The other has a vantage point in a building south of the roundabout. They were keeping tabs on you while you were canvassing the lorry drivers.
One must be the goon in ill-fitting work clothes by the harbor gates. The scab leader.
That may be so. I still hope you heed my advice. There's no need to kick the hornet's nest.
For all your talk of averting this catastrophe, the situation at the gate is a
Catastrophe.
powder keg. Does this not bother you?
Of course it bothers me, Lieutenant. But my hands are tied. How would my employer react if it appeared I were intervening on behalf of the Union?
Your concern may be appearances. Ours is keeping the peace.
One is probably in a building overlooking the roundabout.
That would afford a good vantage point. In any case, it's practically inaccessible.
Where is your radio for contacting them, if I may ask? Do you have an earpiece?
Heavens no. I'm not an undercover agent. There's a short wave at the ship's wheel.
She nods towards the sloop's cabin. I had another question for you.
I hope I can answer it better.
How much time do we have?
Until the executions start? Truthfully, I don't know. It depends on their progress identifying the members of the lynch mob and their impatience.
They don't report their progress to you?
Not on this matter. I'm afraid they consider this a personal initiative.
There's a brief silence. Seagulls Seagulls squawk over the bay.
It's
Ellipses.
a matter of days, not weeks.
Aish. It's enough for now.
I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. If there is anything else I can help you with, please ask.
Now can you tell me about these tattoos?
Of course. Excuse my hesitation before.
She reaches over the guard wire and takes the photo, holds it in her hand.
For about half a minute, in silence, she wears fingerless gloves. Her fingernails are
challenging.
short and
Nice.
fractured, like those of a working woman.
It was taken with a trigger not long ago. This is the man's upper body. There were no more markings on his hands or legs.
Stay quiet. Observe the woman's expression. Man, Philly's noisy tonight, huh?
Her mouth is relaxed. The accordion lines near
If you
her
can hear
mouth
that.
vanish. The pearls of her eyes move slowly on the photo's surface.
What do you think?
Sorry. I was trying to see if I can read the web of interdependencies between these points. The stars.
She points to one on the photo paper.
I can't. But that's how you read this story. The points themselves don't have letters, numbers, anything. Their size, location on the body, and distance from each other tells you what they represent.
Like blooms in a pattern?
Close. Port cities. This is an Oronese map of the waterways, a sailor's tattoo worn by wayfarers of the Dolorian century. Over 300 years ago, the sailors would mark their bodies to map their travels.
What is the use of this map?
The sailor's soul would use it to fly back home if they should die abroad. This is a sort of contraption to be reeled back in by. The silver cord, they would call it.
This is such a cool little thing. Cool little world building thing. So creative. What travels did the dead man make?
Quite a few. Vredefort, the Oronese capital, traditionally stands on the right shoulder. He started somewhere near here, I think.
He points to it on the photo.
What next?
Then he made his way to the Pretto Grande, through what I think must be the Stutz Canal, an artificial channel through the Occident. From the Pretto, he sailed to the Insulindic Ocean, first the Semines Islands, then this.
He points to his heart. What is that?
Revachol. Those are the two constants. Vredefort on the shoulder, and Revachol in the heart. They started the tradition of these maps right after the discovery of Insulinde, at the dawn of the Interinsulary Age.
The old world passing by, and the new world already here.
You said you can't read it.
I can't. This man was no sailor, and these are no ports. I can understand geographic fragments, but not their meaning.
Interesting. Who could tell me more?
His platoon members? The other contractors. Though I do not suggest you go and show them that picture. This man was their friend and comrade.
Good thing Harry does not have the social grace to
Surely there are other
actually
people to
uphold
ask
that.
about the tattoo. This is not necessary to complete the task, officer. It's a dangerous side task. Search elsewhere.
I need the information. Ask Mercs about tattoos.
Do what you have to do, Detective. I don't think deciphering that tattoo should come before public security. But if you should wade into the mob to find out, I couldn't stop you.
I mean, this game has been very enjoyably upfront about things in the past that I shouldn't do. Like using the dock worker's ID. I think I'm 0 for 2 on that front. And the game was like, listen, dude, you look nothing like this guy. This is not going to work in any context. And I keep trying, and the game keeps saying, like, dude, we told you. What are you trying here?
We will be careful, man.
Still fun? That's all for the tattoos. Thank you for your help.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
I think that's it. That's all for now. Grace is such a good character. And what a great voice actress. Okay, so I see a bunch of orange in the bottom left on my toolbar there. Why don't we investigate? So we have 3 skill points presently. We could take a look at the white skill checks that we can redo. And see if there's any of them that we want to try out. You said there was something new here. I see nothing new here. Okay. Ask Scab Leader about tattoos. I just might. Likely will. Okay, so... An impossible electrochemistry. I don't know how important that set of tracks is going to be. What is, These are unavailable for the time being or forever? Oh, there's a lot of them, huh? Godly. Hmm. Two empathy there. I'm seeing physical instrument come up a lot, huh? But I think we suck. Yeah. What's our physique? 2, and we could only pump 1 more in there. Is this what also gives us health? What's the thing that... Endurance, probably. Yeah, probably. I feel okay with 3 health for now. Do you know what? I'm going to hold on to the goddamn skill points. It's more fun to use them when you need them, like currency. As opposed to it being just like a traditional RPG. When you level up, you're just like, well, of course I want all of the boons as quickly as possible, please, and thank you. Bookstore. Let's do it. I see 2 people down there. Oh no. Okay, that was just a weird trick of the light. Oh, trick of the light? What is that? Darkest Dungeon? Darkest Dungeon 2 when? This must be Annette's mom. Gift books and molten candy. Ooh.
The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Hyundai somewhere.
Storekeep. Tell me about the Muscle Man books.
Oh, Man from Hyundai.
Oh
A
no.
very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
It's obviously a purposefully jarring voice. Doesn't mean I want to listen to it a lot, though. It's just like real life, right? 97% of the population has an annoying voice. Myself included. And we just have to endure it, and hope that people endure it. Endure we shall.
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
Sounds good. Which one should I start with?
What does it matter? They're all the same. However, the customer is always right, they say. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hyundalaman, the man from Hyundal. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
Look through the display books.
Rows and rows of Hyundalamen blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Hyundal and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Hyundal, Return to Hyundal. And the solipsistic Man from Hyundal and the Hyundal Man.
That's funny to diagnose that as solipsistic. This is also hilarious. This is like exactly what a DM whips out in the moment when his party's like, "Hey, is there a bookstore around?" And you're like, "Yeah." You turn a couple corners, ask a couple strangers. There's a bookstore, a couple blocks away, and they go in. They're like, "Well, what's on the shelf?" And you're like, "Oh fuck!" And you're just like whipping out names. Man from Hyundal and the Mammoth Riders. Well, what else is there? Man from Hyundal, Return to Hyundal. It's funny. Good God, how many are there?
Maybe 100. Man from Heimdall and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Heimdall and the false god. Man from Heimdall and the
Yep, all of
scorched
these
earth.
are
Man
backfoot
from
DM
Heimdall,
answers.
The Heimdall colonies. Man from Heimdall and the swamp beast. Man from Heimdall and the snow crabs.
We're gonna keep going. Sorry. Is that all?
Not even close. Man from Heimdall in hell. Man from Heimdall and the forest of slaves. Man from Heimdall under the lake. Man from Heimdall.
Heimdall burning. That's
There's
funny.
even The Trial of Death, a pastoral combat gamebook set in the world of Heimdall, and so much more.
Pain threshold. Ah, do any of the books call out to me? Better not hurt me.
A twinge
Nice.
of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts
Oh, we got
twitching.
it by 2. Awesome. Ow.
Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular man from Heimdall in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. Between the throne and the Heimdall man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Heimdall and the Devil Woman.
We keep on with the themes of misogyny throughout. Aren't all women devil women?
Especially those leering types who seem to wear nothing but an armored bikini. There's also some sort of a snake lizard beast slithering around her abdomen, chest, shoulder region. It's symbolic of vice and sin. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Heimdall novels.
How much money do we have? 24? We need 21 by the end of the day? Easy. I want to buy Man from Heimdall and the Devil Woman.
It is a bestseller for a reason.
Nice. The frontispiece of this old paperback features a muscle man in chains kneeling before a salacious-looking woman on a regal seat. A bonfire lies between the throne and the man, casting shadows on the wall, and the shadows of the vixen's headdress looks like a pair of demonic horns. Heck yeah, we'll get into that in a bit then. Let's finish exploring the shop here. Old sports magazines tucked away in a dark corner. The book collects the national recipes of Arda. They're all about lake trout. Okay. In the middle here.
A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Stall keep. What board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Yes, kids, friends, chicks. I have all those.
Then you're a lucky man, officer. Children are the greatest of treasures.
She fiddles with her pendant, thinking.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building
Of course
game
I wanna
where you
buy it.
build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
Pretty fucking steep, though. Maybe we gotta take another trip to Frit. Cash in our tear. Make bank. Come back. And then simulate economics. Use real economics to simulate economics. With the friends I don't have. You think Kitsuragi would play with me? If so, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. You know I would. What about all these Wirral things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
She looks at the table, crossing her arms. That's straight, like, satanic panic D&D stuff, right? I think about that all the time. Being somebody who absolutely loves D&D to death. And it's interesting, you know, because, like, there's a part of the satanic panic argument that I understand. Like, imagine if you, like, saw your kids for the first time pretending to be devils and, like, casting spells and stuff. And, like, you were so foreign, like, let's say you don't have an active imagination yourself, and all you see before you are your kids and your neighbor's kids getting together and talking about devils and, you know, being things that they're not. Like, why wouldn't you focus on reality? You know, in today's day and age, we're so used to the idea of role-playing and imagination and, you know, simulating things. You know, think about how ubiquitous video games are. I was raised on games. I was raised understanding that simulating other realities was a thing that you could do in the first place. But even video games, you're a step removed, but the process is kind of similar. But like when you're doing role-playing games, when you're sitting around a table and playing D&D, and you're pretending you're things you're not, man, I understand how that can be a frightening prospect. Like there is no utility outside of general joy and creative expression to pretend you're something you're not. It's completely devoid of function in the world in terms of like doing work, seeing a problem in the world and then, you know, acting in a certain way and getting a certain result out of it. When you're imagining, you may be conducting that same process of accomplishing problems, but none of it is air quotes real. They're all just conjurations of the imagination. And obviously we find value there because it's hugely popular to imagine things and to simulate realities through games, tabletop or otherwise. But it's funny, just like how much I like actually understand moms that went nuts. I'm like, hey mom, look what I did today. I learned how to cast spells. In fact, don't call me Jimmy. Call me Ragul. I get it, dude. I get it. But I will end the rant by saying if you don't play D&D, find a crew to play some D&D. And if nobody's willing to run a game for you, run the game yourself. I'm telling you, being a DM is a joy unlike any other. Look through the pile of we're all related items.
An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition.
Yeah, this is just a complete stand-in for D&D.
There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Catawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a pick-your-path adventure gamebook titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Anything that really catches my eye?
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 Wirral.
Oh, it's so steep.
That price is steep. But then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement.
You're right.
So it makes sense.
Oh, I really do want to buy it. We'll buy that before the game's over. I promise. I'm gonna continue investigating the entirety of the place before I fall down the rabbit hole of interacting with the owner itself.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
Shopkeeper, it's behind this curtains.
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books.
She fiddles with her
Don't you feel
pendant.
compelled to look at the books? The books are all you care about.
She speaks almost as if she's trying to put a spell on you,
That's right.
urging you to buy more books. Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become.
Examine the strange cage-like trinket.
You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head with empty eye sockets stares at you. This is a traditional Seminese ward, meant to provide protection against ill luck, bad dreams, curses, and other supernatural scourges.
And who are the Seminese?
Inhabitants of Elysium, the Seminine Islands down south. Aside from poking at it suspiciously, there is nothing else to do with the fish head charm at this time. The curtains remain shut before
I
you.
want to just pull them open. Should I distract her first? I don't want to, like, lock myself out of anything. Why don't we leave them for now? We'll continue exploring the store, we'll talk to her, and then we'll, rip those bad boys open and deal with the consequences.
These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. A couple of spook novels hide amidst all the detective books. Thrilling tales of spycraft and daring do.
Still keep. It's all this crime fiction.
Oh, crime, robbery,
Oh!
murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out.
Why did she highlight sexual crimes? Why did she think that would be an important thing to emphasize with me?
You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
Look through the display of books.
Crime fiction is a disgrace. An asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives.
I'm not sure if this is supposed to be masturbatory or evasive. Because, I mean, obviously, right now, I'm basically playing out a novel, a cop novel, doing exactly what they're criticizing here. And either it's masturbatory, them being like, well, like, look how thorough we are. You know, we're not cutting right to the action-y bits. We're taking our sweet-ass time. Look at us. I don't know. I mean, the other take I like even less. It's like the same thing as when somebody in a movie goes like, listen, Betty, it's not like this isn't a movie, this is real life. You know? I cannot stand that shit. And it happens with surprising frequency. Try to tune into that. You'll see it all over the place. You'll read a book and they're like, this isn't some book, this is real. Hopefully they're not doing this. I trust these writers not to be doing that.
Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Oh God, no. I do want to hear what they're titled.
You see Dick Mullen on the job. Get Me Mullen. The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen. Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard. The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen. A killing is declared. Dick Mullen in the murder house. The final case of Dick Mullen.
An obvious lie.
An obvious lie. Dick Mullen
That's
in
awesome.
the clock tower. The ordeals of Dick Mullen. Dauntless Dick. Dick Mullen's funeral pyre. The murder of Dick Mullen.
Dick Mullen dies?
Oh no. Turns out he fated to solve a case.
Oh. Are there any more?
Yes. There's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The morbid tales of Dick Mullen. A dark tide turns. Tragedy calls for Dick Mullen. Another one with fake death. And, of course, Dick Mullen, the murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer.
There has to be at one point where Harry proposes to Kim that we fake our own deaths if we hit some roadblock in the investigation. And Harry's gonna be like, listen, dude, Dick did it. He did it a lot, actually. There has to be a payoff to this joke. There has to be.
After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen?
92 is our unlucky number.
Your attempt to grasp at the answer fails. It seems very close by, pulsating just out of reach.
What the fuck, though? I guess we'll never know. Because I'm not remaking that check ever again. How much did we lose by? Dude, we rolled a 2 and a 1 when we failed it the last time. What the fuck is going on? I think these dice are loaded. God damn it. Whatever those 8 realities are amidst the 100 comfortable ones, we're somewhere within those 8. Fucking whatever, dude. Fucking whatever. Probability. I do not understand it. It's a tome of a fascist magic. Rather candid. A quaint picture book brochure. Very colorful. Kind of shit we got here. Famous people now?
On the shelf reads,
there it is.
Biographies of famous people. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell. You will attain a place on this shelf one day, or die trying.
Still keep. Anything of note in this shelf?
I would say the greatest innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power.
Who or what is an innocence?
A very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that.
She waves her
You're
hand
a
as if
law
casting aside the
officer,
thought.
And law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
I thought it was about which of these innocents is the coolest and greatest.
Perhaps for a layman,
She scoffs.
deep analysis is necessary to peel back the multi-layered meanings.
Sounds elitist.
Do her words seem vague and abstract to you?
So you recommend it?
Certainly, it's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one? Definitely. It's
cheap.
important somehow.
But it's cutting into our D&D
There's something
money.
personal inside.
Look through the display of books.
Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's all just vapid egoism.
Well, yeah, that's what... At least that's what autobiographies are.
Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irv and Alfie Delatraz, by one Cecilia Averbrook.
Cecilia Averbrook. That's a good fictional name. Holy fuck. They all are. Alfie Delatraz, Jacob...
High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tourney racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irv. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irv's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other.
That is fucking rock and roll as shit.
Next to that,
Oh, nothing else about that? Well, there's going to be a payoff to that.
Stands in front of a rundown drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse, though, but not too long.
She's fucking annoying.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce.
She's so uptight, you know? We should shoot some morphine into her eyeball. And chill her out a little bit.
Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner.
Man, can y'all believe that we fucking failed another 92% success? An admittedly inconsequential one, but that's still weighing on me.
The maps look old.
Build up the
and
karma, I
faded.
guess.
Your eye catches a map of Insulinda, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez.
Look at the map of Insulinda. Insulinde?
This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest in the northeast
Le Caillou.
is Le Caillou. You are here. Another far away in the southwest, Seminese Islands, Ile de Fantôme.
This is gonna be useful for, like, placing these in my head. Heck yeah. What else?
Ozon, Laurentide, Fas a la Mer,
Nope,
Archipelagos,
already all gone. Too
North
much
Arcade
information.
Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white, disintegrating into mathematics. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou in a bookstore. It's you.
Squint first. Can you see cities on the islands?
You can on Caillou, Revachol, a single black star. On Ozon, Fondelier, and Vilmandu. On archipelagos, Croyan Moran, Villiers. On Seminine, Olduvai, and on Laurentide, Deora of the Seven Seas. 850 million people live on these little dots, an oceanic world of culture and commerce torn apart by history.
Look at the edges.
The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Windy is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seol is the west azimuth. Isolas, they're called. Connections to other worlds. Words past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are.
Ooh.
Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Isolas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods, gods of distance and outer dust.
Look at the map of Revachol.
The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Le Jardin, Stella Marie, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East.
And west of the river?
Hudon, it's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It's bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Forberg. It's almost as bad and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst.
What about Martinez?
You feel you're just west of Coal City, somewhere above Jamrock and close to Coal City.
Look at the map of Martinez.
It's not really a map. It's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it. drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there.
Still a keep. Can I buy these maps?
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them.
Okay, judgmental. You don't know what I can and cannot afford. Takes bag of gross plastic bottles and hides it behind his back.
They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
Why is the one of Martinez so cheap? You seem to underestimate my resources, but sure, okay.
Yes, yes. Are you interested or not?
I want to buy the map of Martinez. Steal it instead. We fucked up 92, though, yo. What's gonna happen if I fail? I mean, I can try it again. It's white. I'll buy it.
Always good to be
I'll buy
informed
it.
of your surroundings.
I'll buy it. Take a look.
The worn map features the patchwork grid of the streets of Martinez, with directions to appropriately touristy locations. Year 48 resides on the upper right corner.
Trace a path through the grid.
Your finger moves through the various streets, across Rue de Saint-Ghislain and Rue Saint-Sipar, over Saint-Brun and Martinez North. Finally coming to a halt on the spot where you are currently standing, although the map gives no such indication itself.
That's it? Okay. Maybe later. Like the final display case here.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Paranatural? Look through the shelf.
Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance.
It's the New Age section.
The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services.
How does that work?
It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to and which costs more than this book, is garbage and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything.
Interesting. It's an interesting origin story to, alternative medicine. That even the original authors knew that what they were saying isn't the whole truth, or is such conventional wisdom that it's not even worth repeating. Things like, exercise and sleep and walk and shit. But it wasn't some weird actual belief in the mystical. It was instead an attempt at solace when under the thumb of the knowledge that you can't afford actual scientifically proven medicine or medicinal tactics. I've never conceptualized it in that way. Doesn't necessarily make it better, but it makes it a little more empathetic and understandable, I'm also not saying that's actually the reason for alternative medicine's existence. And obviously not all alternative medicine is made equal. You think about, like, ancient Chinese teas and techniques and stuff is one thing, and then you have people putting quartz in their vaginas to fix their hangovers,
Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything, though it is important to note. When it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place.
Does the book say anything else?
The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. It even lists plants you can harvest magnesium from. How to continue drinking if you're an alcoholic who has destroyed his liver. And there's even a chapter on the ancient Seraïs tradition of using duck gallbladder preservatives to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre and post factum apply. Nothing worth buying.
So, well, you know, you hear something like duck gallbladder, treating and preventing STDs. We have analogs that sound equally as crazy that actually work. My question always is, how in the fuck did anybody ever figure that out? I guess humans have a pretty long history. Lots of people to test shit out on. Storekeep? What books are these? Did I misclick?
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of
How often
famous
do I do
people.
that? Do I misclick? I recognize that I did it that time.
Please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free.
It's just, you know, it's a shelf like any other fucking shelf. If you didn't want people browsing this one, don't... What?
I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh no!
Another boring book, just discarded here. Okay, should we talk to this bitch about, curses and stuff? And why we can't go behind the curtain? And why I will definitively go behind the curtain regardless of what she says?
Welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of
I've
Famous
been here
People.
for a good 20,
My
30
name is
minutes.
Plaisance.
The clerk extends a greeting.
Be welcome, and please take responsibility for the energy you bring into this
She's a
space.
fucking witch, dude.
Her face looks powdery and painted from all the makeup.
Before we go on, you seem to be well off enough. Can you give me some money? I feel there won't be an opportune moment to ask later.
Sir, don't be ridiculous. I certainly will not give you money. I would be doing you a grave psychic disfavor.
God, she is a fucking wackadoo.
One has to earn one's success, even if one is a police officer. Handouts are nothing but manipulation. All they do is make you dependent.
So are you the owner of this lovely store?
I am the proudest owner of our little shop of culture.
Her voice is high-pitched, as if to give it more penetration. I was told there's a huge fridge in the building's cellar. Can you, lead me there?
A fridge? No, I don't know anything about a fridge. Aren't you interested in books?
She nods at the bookshelves.
For whatever reason, she's lying to you about the fridge. Seems like you have to find your own way to the cellar.
I'm looking for a book about cockatoos.
A book about cockatoos? There should be one
Cockatoos.
upstairs, right next to the shelf of biographies.
What if I want to buy a book?
Goodness, you were already doing good browsing the shelves. Why'd you stop?
I ran out
Don't
of things to
you
look
feel
at.
compelled? Go! Get back there. The books await you.
She's like actually trying to cast spells on me. I already know this answer, but I want to hear everything. So what types of books do you have?
Everything is on the shelves. Take a look yourself.
She nudges
The
her glasses.
shelves compel you, don't they?
I have to read these liminal sentences faster. I need to read them much faster. Okay, I'll take another look then.
She smiles and nods, seemingly relieved.
The girl outside mentioned that this place is, cursed.
Cursed? Who said that? Annette?
She blinks.
I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good
Freaky.
for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
Your daughter is the one standing outside the store, right?
Annette, yes, my daughter. I hope she wasn't slacking off again with her nose in science fiction. Tell me, was she at her post doing her job like a proper girl?
The chaos in me wants to call out Annette, even though she was a perfect little angel. And endured me when she didn't have to. No, she was definitely slacking off.
Oh, shameful girl. What is she up to this time?
Okay, even the game lets me, like, kind of back out. All of the devs couldn't even do it to Annette. No, I must have been mistaken. She's right outside. Very attentive, yes.
Wonderful. Did you talk to her?
Yes.
Great. On a scale of 1 to 10, how compelled were you to buy books after talking with her?
I have to. I have to. 1. Not impressed.
I knew it.
She sighs and shakes her head.
Behaviour. She's encouraged.
How could I ever? How could I ever? I'm here to dismantle the free market and abolish child labor. I get she's a trooper, alright? She looks like she can take it, but it's actually wearing her down. Oh my god, and then we come in with the care? Why do I care about the stupid fictional daughter of this witch? But I do. I get she's a trooper, alright? She looks like she can take it, but it's actually wearing her down. You know, she's been biting her nails.
God. I've told her not to do that. It's such a disgusting habit.
Her voice is
She'll
firm.
get over it. Anxiety is a part of life.
Which is true. But, as a mother, you are supposed to be one of the quellers of your daughter's anxiety in life. If you find that the opposite of true is true, which I'm sensing it is with you and her, you fucked up. I don't think she can do anything about it.
She can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life doesn't give breaks.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
Still standing up for the market. Actually, yeah, it's super alright for kids to chew their hands off. Forget I said anything. I like the sarcasm in that, but I actually think that's like, hey, just continue. I don't care about this anymore. One is funny, but still understanding. What you're doing is wrong. Even I know that, and I usually don't know anything.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass
Man.
without change.
I know when writing, like when I write, it's often that you say, like, they share a silent minute, or they're like a certain way for 10 seconds or whatever. That's a long fucking time to not exchange words and just observe. So there's the three of us, no one says anything for 10 seconds, and we just watch her fume like a Dragon Ball Z character for 10 seconds? That's a long fucking time. But you do it as a writer all the time to get your point across.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there.
What are you getting to here?
There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind.
Okay, so your mom fucked you up. She stops, but her mouth keeps going. Is this husband Annette's father?
Yes. My husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter.
She says gloomily.
Soon
I
we'll
missed
both
it.
be off for Grand Couronne.
Wait, Grand Couronne? What's that?
It's a proper place to live.
Proper?
One of the most peaceful neighbourhoods east of Jamrock. You may
East
know
of
it for
Jamrock.
its massive housing projects. Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's
Her smile's
a great
wide.
opportunity to get ahead of the crowds. Better times ahead for sure.
And your husband's also involved with the bookstore?
He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
Is she an only child?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not
She
in
pauses
this
for a second. I
economy.
missed that. Oh my god. Was having... Forget
A
it.
glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
Why not?
We're quite busy people, you know, my husband and I. Quite busy. Children
Your
are a
voice
lot
wavers
of
a bit.
work. You don't look like a father, so I don't expect you to understand.
You don't know shit about me, bitch, okay?
I'm sorry. I'm sure you do understand.
She told me she doesn't go to school anymore.
She's been too busy helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course.
License nods.
I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
God. This is so tragic.
And hell freezes over? Never mind. It's not a good topic to get into.
Alright, I had something else in mind.
The woman looks aloof. Her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
Farewell for now, book peddler. What a fun way to leave that. Ooh, the ink dries. Autosave. Alright, we're gonna just rip this bitch
The
open.
curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice
Oh,
of the
shit.
shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand is closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
I've heard there's a fridge there that I need.
Everybody suddenly needs something from there. Leave
She waves
the
her hands
curtain
angrily.
be. It's what it wants.
Man. Animistically putting a soul into the curtains too, huh? This is about the curse? That's why you're afraid?
No, it's just a storeroom for the employees, I told you. Now please step away from the curtain.
She's almost begging you. Ma'am, this is different. I'm a police officer. I need to get in there.
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there.
Excuse me? She stops abruptly as her hand flies over her mouth, baffled by her own bluntness.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go there. I can't allow that. You'll only make things worse and unleash the powers.
Man, she is...
The curtains do seem frail suddenly, not robust enough to contain a slippery darkness.
Humans do have their ability to do this, right? We do anthropomorphize objects all the time. And even in our language. You know, a human being can be frail, and a door can be frail, a window can be frail, a bedpost can be frail. We use the same adjectives to describe objects that we do living things. I think we often cast our empathy where it doesn't belong, into inanimate objects, or maybe it does belong. I don't know. This is an interesting turn here. The curtains do seem frail. It's like we understand what she's saying as if they do have a life of their own. But that's different than, you know, actually thinking that curtains can feel and think and have a nervous system and all of that. It's all projection. It might be useful to project, but it's not true. Capital T. But I sense this place calling for me. I must investigate beyond the threshold.
You do?
She
My
grabs her
God,
pendant again, visibly
even more
shaken.
reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
I don't care. You can't stop me. I'll open them.
No! Please
She raises
just
her hand to
talk
try to stop
me,
you.
officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to do anything extreme.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you.
What's
as
she
if
gonna do to
taunting
me?
you.
I mean, I'm willing to... I mean, we can always rip them apart at any moment. But I want to hear what she has to say. What's your deal?
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
It's one of those weird video game things. That, like, I'm assuming this is her voice bit. The second time you interact with her in the store. Regardless of the events that transpired in between. Like, she was just so stressed out. And then the tenor of her delivery there was very emotionally non-consistent. Inconsistent? Why are you so uptight about those curtains? I just want to know what's on the other side.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books.
She recites it like it's a poem, or like she's playing a role she's grown tired of. She's so tense, it's a miracle she hasn't slept in half yet.
Why are you still talking about books? You trying to put a spell on me?
A spell? As if.
She snorts.
This place doesn't need any spells or hoodoo mumbo-jumbo. This place has wonderful energy.
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed into a tight-lipped smile, ellipses, then something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said, they don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
She closes her eyes and starts mumbling something to her pendant.
Host of hosts, she prays. Guard me and my honest business venture from the curse that lurks behind the curtains.
How does this curse manifest itself?
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
Shiver runs through the woman as she looks around the dimly lit store. And how fun is it that like this is all happening, as far as we know, completely separately from the, the drug operations and the lynching and stuff. But we need to get through this woman's insane superstition to potentially use her fridge, so our 8-day-old body doesn't continue to rot before we can have a coroner look at it.
It's the curse of financial distress.
Her voice drops to a whisper.
Ruin and bankruptcy.
She peers at the curtain again. Okay, I'm a little confused. What does that mean?
Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy, and their malicious spirits are still here, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Why don't you just tell me right away it's the curse?
It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism
She shivers.
is dangerous. Talking about the void wraiths angers them.
Wow.
Void wraiths.
You have new words.
Right. You sought help from anyone?
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
She nods at the strange cage-like trinket on the curtains.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough.
Is your pendant part of the wards as well?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
This bitch is nuts.
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales 15%.
Would you like me to take the case? I could investigate, see if the curse is real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess.
Ho ho ho.
Stay away.
You don't know.
Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
Should I go get some of Roy's psychedelics?
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
Convince her. Oh my god, 97. +2 to help Danette, +1 on a quest to freeze the body. And our drama's already at +6. There's no way we can fail. Famous last words, huh? I should probably exhaust these options though, right? Seriously, I need to get to the fridge in the cellar. It's a police matter. I have a dead body to take care of. No, it's gonna trip her the fuck out. I had a few more questions about the curse.
Okay, but please, only a
Oh,
few
I
questions.
don't, though.
Looks aloof. Her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
It's amazing how much I am nervous about rolling a fucking 97%.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class
perfidy looks like. Hey, what if I don't want to lie?
You're not lying. You're giving her peace of mind. The means are thus justified.
Amen, drama. Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure?
She looks skeptical.
Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I've returned from the void. A para-detective from a long line of para-detectives.
You're no paradetective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but
The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook.
Oh, God. All right, let's read through them all. They all look good. I admit I've had my share of drinks, but only because the spectral realm is parapsychologically taxing. And it's a good justification, too. You see, it's necessary to drink the spirits in order to contact the void. We're gonna avoid that one because of the fucking pun. Al Ghul hails from beyond the veil, ma'am. Al Ghul guides the way. We only know that because we talked to the racist, right? I like one.
How do you know all this?
Here we go.
Your wards brought me here in the first place. The Seminole's blood also runs through me. I am the Void Revenant. I have the powers to debad all the bad energies. That's being the Void Revenant, that's much stronger, right?
I should have realized. A pattern lies within the fabric. The hand of fate guides us. Our meeting couldn't have been mere chance.
There you go.
But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
We have to have Kim involved. Just ask my partner, Kim. He'll vouch for me.
Oh,
Lieutenant mumbles in minor confusion. He has not been listening closely enough. You put him on the spot.
certainly so, ma'am. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
I should have fucking saved with only one morale. Oh my god, let's get out of this conversation as quickly
Good
as we
officer,
possibly
then
can.
You might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
A hand on your heart, on my honor. I swear to God, if I lose a morale...
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Dude, this is the kind of shit that drains your morale.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Oh, shit. Of course, the entity. Close your eyes. For I have sensed its presence.
You have?
She
The
gasps.
entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Wait, can I save mid-conversation? Ah, chimney. The passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic.
Nice.
I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just office space. And the damn fridge. Don't be scared.
Farewell for now, book peddler. Heck yeah, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go get morale. Right now. We're gonna head to Frit, sell some bottles, and then we'll come back and we'll investigate this shit. Yeah, what a fun little side quest, huh? What time is it? 3:30? Okay. Or did these not tear? I don't believe you. Nice. We didn't even need to buy some shit. We still need to figure out a way to get past the supremacist.
tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, "Your bottles clunk."
$2. Let me take those. Is this where the magnesium is?
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine
Man, only
bottles.
90 cents? That's so dope.
Here, I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something.
Or something. I love her. I think she is such a good character. Let's see. It's cool that they have a pronunciation guide with their weird made-up words. It's appreciated for idiots like me. Alright, dude, let's go investigate the fucking entity. Whatever that means. Wait, Annette, where did she go? Uh-oh. Hopefully she's not getting her ass kicked. Where is she? Was she out there and oh no, she's inside reading. That's so sweet. She's on a little break or something.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't talk right now. I'm very busy with my homework. I have so much homework now.
You just can't win. Out of the rain and into the gutter.
What are you doing now?
Math. It's really difficult. Like, really. They say you need it to get rich. Better than standing outside in the cold, I guess.
We need mathematics to get rich. What would your opinion be if there were 100 realities and there's only 8 of them that suck, but 92 of them are okay? Then you have 2 instances of these things. Can you explain the math and the wormhole jumping required to get you to that shitty reality? Or maybe that's a religious thing and not mathematic. What do you know?
Oh, I found something while you were away.
What is it?
I thought this would fit you. Like
A
thanks for
Dick
helping
Mullins
out.
hat? Are
Not
you
me.
kidding?
The city, I mean. Like a detective does.
Oh god, we have to put it on. She gives you a hat almost exactly like the one Dick Mullen wears on the covers. Wait, where did you get it?
Just what Dick Mullen would ask.
She lowers her
can't
voice.
look behind the curtains. I'm not really supposed to go there.
It's a fedora.
Maybe. It's the hat Dick Mullen wears all the time.
She grins with joy.
Look way more serious with that. Right, I have to get back to my homework now. Before Mum notices. Man, this is hard.
She looks back at the infernal scribblings under her nose. That's cool. Makes her feel living and breathing, like she actually has shit to do. Man, should we man, oh man, huh? I think the brim's a little too wide to be a fedora. More like a Indiana Jones hat or something. If anything, this wide-rimmed hat looks even better than the hat Dick Mullen wears. Dick Mullen is stupid and not even real. You're real. Your brain is real. Your real brain is inside the hat. What did this other one give us? +1 reaction speed, -1 rhetoric. We'll just make our encyclopedia even more dope. It's been really fun having encyclopedia chime up all the time.
You see a set of tattered curtains.
Nice.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Nice.
Oh!
A small terrified "oh" escapes from Placence as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Don't you worry, babe. Ew. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. Yeah, beauty salon? A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Merely looking at the unmanly haircut threatens your masculinity, and we can't have that.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
We have the key. I mean, I want to break down the door, but we have the key. I'll knock on it.
Only an echo. No one is there. A hollowed-out, dark echo.
Unlock the door with the key.
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
Man, I can see it in my mind's eye, huh? Uh, Kim, maybe you should go first.
Detective, you're the one in charge.
Lieutenant motions toward the door. Open the door and enter. Man, a load screen, huh? Fucking gym. Ooh, what you gotta say, Kitsuragi? Talk to him.
What is this place?
Lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. Oh man, all three of these are so fun. It's an adventure.
No, it's a gym.
He disagrees.
So it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
What if there's a reason why no one's been here for ages?
Yes, because it's closed. No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
I think you're wrong with this one, Kim. Goals. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. The poster says, Sidious, Fortis. The rest is worn off. A shot put? It's a bull! Dude, Renee and Gaston are gonna be so fucking stoked. Smells like leather and sweat. Still smells like sweat? There's Placen's fucking pumping iron back here?
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them.
This is especially funny to like take this moment standing over top of it and just having Kim watch on, and spinning in Kim's head right now is like, dude, he's not thinking about literally trying to big dick in front of me only. His only audience is me, and look how long he's thinking about this.
There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard.
Look, Kim. It's a trap. There are no collars on the barbell.
You're right. The weight may fall off. Better not touch it then.
What kind of a bastard would just remove the collars? It would be a felony.
It would be a violation of EPIS safety regulations if the gym was still operating, but it isn't. No one's supposed to come here anymore.
I assure you I will never come back and try this. Oh. Yeah. Kim, you got anything to say about that?
Ground, but the barbell feels wobbly and dangerous. Your hands slick with sweat. Turns out you're no beast. Just an old man with bad form.
Fuck you, stupid barbell.
Weightlifting was never my favorite either.
Lieutenant is obviously handling you.
At the station gym, I mean. I prefer running. It clears your head.
Well, that was embarrassing. Worn out wall bars, they look unsafe. And we shall ignore those too. Dude, I don't see fucking anything else though. Oh, these are stairs. Oh, okay, they're stairs. There's nothing further down here though, right? No? Man, the -1 health, -1 morale really hurts, doesn't it? Ooh, it's spooky in here. Let's go. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. What is this, a fucking survival horror game? We didn't feel like animating the other side of the hallway. It's just, there's desks and chairs and stuff there. You can't, there's no way you can get past it. Ooh. A large demijohn full of strange liquid. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. This is so rad, huh? Airship rotors covered in spider webs. Those swells are great. They remind you of blades. Dude, this piece of music is incredible. A mannequin. A naked mannequin torso. A strange yellow color. Yes, dude, that's a lot of funds. Whoa, what is going on back here? Blue velvet, soft to the touch. Moth bitten. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Can't go over there. What is this? 10 real? What is that? Steel rotor blades bearing a Slipstream logo. Skis with Slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Man, this place is so cool. So we'll give that to Renee and Gaston. Production schedule filament memory. What is this? The cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand, its intricate structure covered in dust. What a beautiful sentence. We're going to read that again. The cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand, its intricate structure covered in dust. That's a perfect sentence, as far as I'm concerned. Silver tape on the side reads, production schedule, note. This filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Oh, so we shouldn't sell it yet. A radio computer? Do we have one in, is Kanema? In the MC? What? But where are the clothes it used to display? That's what you're thinking about right now, bro? Oh, what is this? What is this? Oh, is this a rotor computer?
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer.
Yeah.
Just sitting here without anyone inside.
He sounds surprised and a bit cautious.
What he means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind?
But we are looking for a fridge, and we are pressed for time, so...
On the other hand, it's not that I'm not interested in abandoned radio computers. This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer.
Do you think I should turn it on? Turn on the machine.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber.
Oh, these sound effects.
Revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Look inside the compartment.
It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
We gotta do it.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Here we go. Who knows what this is gonna be?
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good afternoon. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1.
It's weird that they're giving us a portrait here. This is just Harry imagining what this individual looks like.
Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
What? Are you a machine or are you alive?
Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne. Now please repeat. Is this the
I
production
think Yvonne is a great
schedule?
name.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
Yvonne, my partner tells me that you're here because radio computer guys are all paranoid. says the old lady.
It's my job to protect the filaments as a password repeater at the East Insulindian Station.
Okay, but where are you? How did you know where I am?
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios. Now please tell me the reason for your call, Fortress Accident.
Why did you call me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Do you have any other information about this company?
One moment.
You hear her flip through a catalog before she reads out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
Fun.
That's not bad.
Wow, so conceptual. She hums. And what's that, this interactive call-in radio game?
Any other questions?
What's the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
You mean that glowing thing I put inside?
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password. Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
A password? I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint?
No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
This is police. Please open this thing.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder, Fortress Accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
Okay, we gotta look for a
I'm
password.
afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
We do not.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
The voice in the machine asks again. She sounds cold in the damp air. Is it my birthday?
Still no.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
The old lady's voice disappears along with the static.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard. Nothing happens.
Dry the ink. Looking for a password.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Inspect the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You
Welkins?
make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic.
This was the stuff we heard about in the bookstore, right? The D&D stuff?
Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin, and even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona.
Nice.
No longer a mere man, but a welkin.
Heck yeah.
One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the welkin. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged.
It's so funny. How, like, the moment you... Like, so much of D&D is just racism. You know, dwarves hate the orcs. The elves have problems with X, Y, and Z. We're just like, yeah, let's simulate it. It's fun. You remove the simulation and you're like, yikes.
The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule.
Is this going to be a thought cabinet, do we think?
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
Who are these creatures? Who drew them? And are they real? I have so many questions. One of them is a Welkin supremacist. I hope I can ask all of these.
Some people really like building a world, I think. Even if it's just for a game.
Oh, come on. Enough with the meta self-justification stuff. You don't have to do it. Who are these creatures? Who drew them? And are they real? I have so many
This
questions.
looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
One of them is a Welkin supremacist.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
Lieutenant nods at the Welkin's facial hair. Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
He sounds a little sarcastic, but honestly, like, could be a moment of earnestness from Kim. Let's back the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to
Ooh,
shore.
okay, Jamais
There are
Vu
pictures
just
of
finished.
settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario. A desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Man. It's really well written. Inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
And keep reading what happened.
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Man, so the password is in here somewhere.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe." The full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Jamais vu. Derealization.
Man, what a good depiction of derealization.
Jamais vu, the opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood. Only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this.
Okay.
What world are we in? This is a fundamental question.
I mean, we already did do that, but I wonder if this is going to unlock a more robust reality lowdown. +1 XP for every orb collect. All intellect learning caps raised by 1. Dope. Okay. Feeling pretty good. Should we start another one? This is the fascist one? Yes. Want to do it. -1 composure, who cares? Okay. Scribbled across a notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker. The mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Cadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Hold on, how do I know what Cajun mosaic tiles are supposed to look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
We're dealing with something medical here?
You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled The Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap.
Wait, who's the game master?
Someone very important. A conductor for the hundreds of story threads that pass through the Game Master's frequency.
If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Man, this is so... This studio just talking about themselves. The cost of Airwidth alone must have been huge.
Exactly. This schedule, I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
How cool would it be if this actually, like, tied into the case itself? You know, people were, like, actually using ideas for an RPG, like a simulation of real life, to actually just hide what they were doing in real life. That's a fun idea.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Someone tried to exorcise the curse using technology?
No, that's not it. I think...
The lieutenant takes a step back, steepling his hands.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
How were they planning to do that?
Through call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
Has anyone ever done this before?
Not to my knowledge. They make automated games in Grad, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interisolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
And this was a role-playing game?
Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway.
He points to the chalkboard.
Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but
Lieutenant tilts his head, thinking. They were insane if they thought they could do this.
Yes, especially in here.
Lieutenant looks around the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor in front of your feet.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Oh, there were more options though, and I could only say one of them. Okay. Keep in mind that there is a password that we should get. Damn. What's going on here? Thank you. Nice. Oh, this has to be the fridge. And, some type of hatch. We'll see.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy? This must be the fridge you were told about. Look inside. See if it's big enough for the corpse.
Crack open the door.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you.
Nice.
You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Relax, Kim. It's the fridge, remember?
Of course. A giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
He relaxes his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge
Just
door.
what we were looking for. Let's see what's inside.
Look inside the fridge.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
This is clearly the fridge. It looks big enough for 2 corpses.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is capacious and cold enough, too.
Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge.
Shall we go and get the body, then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
Okay, let's do this.
The body is heavier than you expected and stinkier. It takes half an hour to get it down to the basement, then 10 more minutes to stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best police work I've ever done.
Really? You think it's good work?
No, not really. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in an ice bear fridge. This story does not leave this room.
I think it's a glorious achievement and people need to hear about it. This isn't police work, Kim. It's art. We're artists. And this was our vision.
If I were an artist, this would certainly not be my vision. I would be much, much more conservative in my work.
He's right. His work would be much more formal.
At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge.
Oh, it's 92%
stands
though.
slumped.
Oh. There's just no way we can fail this. There's just no way. If we fail a 92%er for a 3rd time, we uninstall the game. And then we all hide in our closets for the next 24 hours. Because something cataclysmic is coming. Probably the Great Bloodletting, would be my guess. I can't do this in front of Kim.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus.
Alright, dude.
Damn it. This is turning into some sort of mega puzzle.
I'll do it when he goes to bed.
So you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone to sleep.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
How do you like it in the fridge?
I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest hour. You're a genius, a regular Copperlangelo.
Enough.
Come back later, Coppo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible. Also, See me in your dreams.
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Examine one of the ice cream wrappers in there.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge or the decomposing body in it. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate. Even under this stench, you can feel it.
What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
Lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. They tried to sell ice cream from this hyper-carnivore?
I know.
Says the
What an
lieutenant.
unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
Lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge.
The electricity bill must be catastrophic. On the other hand, it did help us with a certain corpse situation.
Indeed. Refrigerated meat is much better for coroner's work.
Here we go. Here we go.
Your arms reach out and your eyes close.
We're back in the
as
right
if by
timeline.
their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh.
We
First with the
just
fingertips,
made it too.
under the palm of your hand.
A 3 and a 1. Man, that's the beta timeline, like tickling our nuts. Being like, hey, listen, I let you pass this time, but you know I'm always lurking nearby. I'm the river running by your road, bro. Alright, I'll respect you. And listen to this. Your arm reaches out and your eyes close as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh. First with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand. What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
Curl up his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Oh, push your fingers in his nose.
Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage. The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider.
Put your fingers in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop.
Play with it. This feels right.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Open your eyes and look.
A vision of black and dark red.
Okay.
Pried
I think this
open
like
by your
fucked our
naked
morale in
hands
the
and
past.
studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
Was he shot?
An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Say fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Touch it with your finger gently.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat
Oh.
from the wound.
Put your finger in.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Is this an experience everybody should have? Getting to play with a dead body and like feel all of the parts of the body that we never have the ability to? Like the brainstem and the lungs and the intestines. Like you'll die never touching an intestine, hopefully. Like, isn't it weird that like there's all this shit right fucking here? It's an inch away from my fingers and I'll never touch it. Ever. Like, is there any valuable context there? We're like feeling kidneys. Probably not, huh? Like, what must it be like to, like, open a guy up and dig in there and just feel around? What is that like? I'm not a psychopath, I promise. Brainstem?
Yes, that's what this part is called.
Feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex.
There's a metaphor here.
This man will never sleep again, never wake.
Push deeper.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
Man, we got our fingerless gloves on too right now, don't we? We should have put on the gardener's gloves. There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Heck yeah, dude. This is such a cool scene. Push deeper.
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger.
Say it.
Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin.
Another 92 and we can't try it again. I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
He searches his pocket for something. Inspect the skull first.
There's a tiny crack. A protrusion in the cranium. Right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it. From the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull.
Right.
The encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
This is so cool.
This is the irregularity you felt before. The one that was too tiny to register consciously.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Lieutenant leans closer. Here we go. It would only be double ones.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. It feels sharp, like metal. With your face twisting from pain and concentration, all you need to do is just...
I got it.
Good.
The fridge in the background buzzes with excitement. Slowly pull your fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove.
Ew!
Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop,
Level
your
up.
hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
A bullet.
Heck yeah, dude. Lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. Drop it in. Awesome. Awesome.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
He's not gonna want it, but I certainly do. Can I have it?
Of course. You've earned it.
Lieutenant drops the bag in your bloody hand. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds like heaven.
Opinion, fatal injury.
God damn right.
And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
Right.
he's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Dead dabba doop doop. Dabba doop doop. Dead dabba doop doop. Dead dabba doop doop. Dead dabba doop doop. It's gotta be that, right? Dead dabba doop doop.
Dead.
I love when he plays along. Agreed.
I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too.
Nice, dude. All this experience, bro.
We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
Maybe they shot him while they hanged him?
To put him out of his misery?
He
It's
thinks.
possible, but it does not explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out.
Right?
But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Oh no! It's gonna be my gun, right? The person who bought my gun. Oh, that's good. Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot him.
Oh god. Don't say that. Don't say that. I already know what weapon shot
We
it.
bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
No. Nope. We need the boots. Nope, we need the boots. Don't let this be automatic. He'll be gone. What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Cool. I'm gonna come back and get these fucking boots. You can bet your ass I will. An ice cream maker defrosted and unplugged. Oh, there's a... Man, this place is big. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. Ink is dry. Frozen ice cream maker that's still running. Some fucking cream up in this bitch? Nice.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker.
Why would I do either of these? Why would I do either of them? Intercom wires running into the breaker box. Is this a staircase here? Man, this place is fucking huge. Dude, insane mesh tank top. Cool. Putting it on. Just +1 drama. That's our shit. You know it is. Any questions? Come on, dude. Come on, dude. A cellar window, people's feet shuffling by on the street. How do we get in this other room? How do we get over here? Oh, there's just the door. Okay. What's this? Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are we?
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles.
He points up.
Must be an old weapons cache.
Look, there's a hole in the wall.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Okay, I do.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Rifles, Kim.
Are these any good?
Inspect the
Most
rifles.
of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
This one looks nice.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
What does this mean? A rifle here.
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
So I shouldn't sell it.
Likes this find.
Leave. Cool. Oh, it's cheap. Fractured bullet. Handwritten note from the fridge. Okay, no, we should do both of those as soon as we're done fully scouting this room. 2 rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Okay. Same shit. There's a cremator? The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now. What is this?
A layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
Kim, what is this thing? Is it a furnace?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney.
He opens the door and gingerly peeks inside.
No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs. The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying, or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
Lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. I'm hallucinating, or maybe it's the entity.
Wait, really? Take your head out of the chimney, please. It's not safe.
Smear your hands with coal.
A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. Maybe you could paint something with this coal. Leave a cave painting for future archaeologists. No, that would be stupid.
Those voices I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity? Clayson said it lives in a chimney.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man. A hollow ring.
God, I should have known better.
Your toe hurts.
Was that a... What is happening here? Okay. Freak me the fuck out. Put us in the green. It put us in the green. Here we go.
Something breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
Hello. You hear a woman's voice answer. Oh. Hello? I summon the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Answer me, spirit. Hello, did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the 2nd floor. I'll open it.
you hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Leave. Wait, upstairs? Who was that? Why don't we save? Where's this gonna go? Where's it gonna go? Where's it gonna go? Okay. This bitch still. Huh. So that's the entirety of that back space, huh? So somebody upstairs. How do I get upstairs here? We should go talk to, the witch again. Forget her name.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus.
Yes, yes. How was it?
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
It was a charnel house of failed business enterprises, leeching life energy from this bookstore.
I knew it.
A tremor runs through her.
Such horrors that have been thrust upon us.
All the while, I'm just standing in this mesh sleeveless shirt now.
But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
I think so.
You don't have anything of substance to tell her until you found that entity of hers.
Okay, well, I mean, we gotta get upstairs somehow. You said she pulled some curtain? Oh, ear. Oh, what time is it? It's 5. It's almost 5:20. We got 3 skill points to spend. Wash off the death smell. We'll do that tonight. We gotta get upstairs somehow. There's like no perceivable entrance up there, right? I mean, this isn't the... This is a check, I think? What is this?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like around back, there's nothing we can really do. But she did say I think she said something about a curtain. Okay, let's maybe take another lap. Maybe interact with the furnace again. But do it fast though. Man, there's so much that I want to do. Nothing up here, correct? What's your thought there, tough guy? There's this one book that is green.
A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover.
Oh.
Its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title. From A to Zurich, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo.
Go through the pages.
Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems. You don't have behavioral problems.
No way.
It's garbage. You're cool.
What about this guide to cockatoos? Storekeeper.
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
Angry storekeeper stare down. Let's come back. Whoops. We can try to steal it maybe after we get her entity all figured out. Who knows the most interesting thing about fascists was their magic? Duh. So this... This would be upstairs. What?
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
I don't get it.
Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the
Why am I
same
getting this thought this time?
Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
But the question is, which did they start with? And which did they pivot to?
That's a good question.
What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad.
Reality is ruthless.
Amen, brother. Okay. Wait. There's shit over there. There's shit over there. How do I get over there? How do I get over there? It sounded like a cockatoo. Wait, oh man, I missed this the first time. This had to be where the voice was coming from. What is this? What? Floorboards creak, sure. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow? Can I have the shoes, please? I'll take the shoes. What is this? Postcard. Nice. Another thing to look at. Is this another? Whoa, oh my god! This is the entity, huh? This tray is full of dice, colorful polyhedral dice, hundreds of them. That's still working away at it, huh? The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice. Man, this quickly became a love song to just tabletop in general, huh?
Hello, I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Hold on, what do you mean by milius?
Yes, a Milius is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
Must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance?
She blinks.
You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
She's so sweet. Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Role-playing games? You know the one made by Fortress Accident. Does that count?
Sure, I like role-playing games. I need some dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set, unless you want something really unusual. Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
This is so cool. The walls around here are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shells like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
How did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
You like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Stop buttering up people that you know are role players playing your video game.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
Okay, I'd like to order a die from you.
Of course. Tell me what you have in mind.
Do you have any cursed dice? Tell me about your most extraordinary die.
A star that fell from the firmament? Those cost more than 7 real. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm a star myself, a superstar. And superstars don't care about money.
Yes, you definitely have the proper attitude. How about a pair of 100-sided dice? Made of ivory and inlaid with lodestone, a naturally occurring magnet to complement your magnetic personality.
Pieces of lodestone were used as the first magnetic compasses, from which they derived their other name, coarse stones.
10 real, and I can get these ready in 8 hours.
I need these dice. I need them. But do magnetic dice even roll properly?
It's true, magnetic dice are definitely different. When rolled together, the magnetic fields of the pips interact with each other to push and pull on each other as they're rolled, just like all magnetic personalities do.
It's a deal.
Great, see you in 8 hours then. Was there anything else?
Definitely. What you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
The lieutenant looks at his notebook, then the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by daily ruckus? It's gotta be Kuno, right?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
He stops to try and come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
And you never took your eyes off the work? Look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness. It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
I get it.
This person values focus above all. She keeps her sharp sight on the instruments before her.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
Dude, what an absolutely brilliant vocal performance. Man, I haven't thought about it until now, but I guess none of these vocal performances, I don't know how it works, but they can't be up for like Game Awards stuff or anything. I guess they could be. Maybe they would count that as a new entry, as opposed to it being a 2-year-old game. But also, I highly doubt that the novelty dice maker hiding in the back of the bookstore in Disco Elysium is gonna be nominated for shit. I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Hey, where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
Oh, that's it. She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of a coal-black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home.
You live here?
Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
Creative.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. Again, cool that that sounded sincere from Kitsuragi. Like he's actually enjoying this woman's ingenuity.
When she arrived here, there was no room anywhere else. She must have known the other businesses.
I've heard this place is cursed. Do you know that people call it the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Wait, how do you explain what happened to all those companies then?
It's just capitalism. We only hear about tales of success, so it's often surprising to realize how many ventures actually fail.
That is very true, in fact. It's like, I think about it obviously through the same lens of evolution all the time. The amount of species and creatures and animals and plants that just didn't succeed. Maybe even just iterations of species that we are aware of. But just whatever made them distinct wasn't worthwhile evolutionarily, so they died out. Something a little sad about it, but it's the game we play. Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've
Plaisance?
heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers, and she has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going. The curse is just biding its time before it strikes again. Sooner or later, everyone will fail. Even her.
All right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in racks? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
Hold on, the whirling is part of the doomed commercial area?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East of the Commerce Central project.
Yes, but it's still a separate building. The malicious energies can't reach there.
And then there is me.
Besides, looking at her messy work table, all kinds of tools lie there, scattered from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
Plaisance thinks it's because you're the source of it. A malignant entity.
Malignant entity? What does that even mean? Some kind of sorceress? What about you, officer? Do you think I'm the malignant entity?
Oh, 1 is so fun, but she's my favorite character in this game so far. Two is a +1 for free markets. I think it still might be you who's causing this. There are your eyes, very mysteriously.
So I'm the grand dragon in the cave.
She seems mildly
Might I
entertained
ask
by the suggestion.
What's this claim?
I yelled to summon the ghost of the doomed commercial area, and you were the one who answered. Something ghostly about you. Oh, 4 is so fun. But 2, I like the visual consistency of squinting my eyes even further. Let's do it. There's something ghostly about you. Ethereal, even.
Ethereal? Thank you, but I think it's just the lighting. If you ever find a way to explain all those inconsistencies in the curse, then let me know.
She turns back to her work.
That's all she has to say on the subject. She has been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see. Plaisance needs to hear about this.
Oh, my
Perhaps if you
shivers suck.
combine your psychic energies, you will make sense of the situation.
Do you know what happened to other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
10, huh? There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that word.
I bet they are.
A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad. It's not about the haircut, it's about the confidence.
What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customer should have been more open-minded.
I
Thank you.
guess it just wasn't the time yet.
She tucks a strand of hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
I mean, that's what Kuno needs. A community-centered boxing club.
Kuno? Who's Kuno?
He's sort of the king around here. He's a little gingered gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies.
Oh yes, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth?
That's right.
Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out the window. Oddly quiet there at the moment.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that kid.
And who was Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had
Zemsk.
some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
How did that community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What about the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess.
She sighs.
There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right? Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milieu. Who would have guessed?
What's the snuff milieu?
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
Cool, very cool about the debris, but what's a snuff milieu?
It's a sub-Rosa radio station that broadcasts real murders with real victims. Some people pay good money to get off on it.
Nothing changes in her tone as she says that, as if it's just another piece of information to lay out for the world.
Don't worry, the ICP has a separate division that deals exclusively with unlicensed sub-roses. This isn't our problem.
Good luck with that. It's not easy catching those perpetrators.
And she lets the thought go. Did somebody here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs. Anything else?
I found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists? What in the name of...
The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings. And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
Glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects, but insects don't have any brains or feelings. They got what they deserved. Making clothes out of beetle wings is a terrible idea. The first one's cute. It's a really cute response. I'm glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects.
Really?
Looks at the windowsill where a dead fly is lying on its back, legs curled up in a bow tie. Legs curled up in a bow tie. What a good description. What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile.
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just the props. Why return them? Maybe you could make a sword out of one. No, wait, forget it. It would take too long.
I found a strange machine.
Fortress Accident, the radio game studio.
She closes her eyes as some remnant of a memory lights up on her face.
They were an interesting bunch. We talked about role-playing systems every now and then. Once, I even saw two of them get into fisticuffs over Wirral.
Sweaty nerds.
They certainly took their work very seriously, even if they seemed to be chronically liberal with their schedules.
What do you mean liberal? What happened?
The usual. They ran out of money and couldn't get the project done on time.
What went wrong?
Well, I did hear them talking at times.
She looks at the hallway as if she can still hear them chit-chat behind her curtains on a cigarette break.
They seemed to believe they were historical individuals on some grand quest.
She sounds almost mocking when she says that.
Really? They must have been on a gigantic ego trip.
That's what I thought. Because when the money started to run out, they just began to complain a lot about capitalism. You know, how the markets are rigged to keep up new businesses and so on. In the end, they just didn't get it done. They didn't have enough willpower to produce something truly historic and to show up to work on time.
Well, showing up to work on time is incredibly hard.
And so is producing something extraordinary.
Her eyes wandered to the shelves full of dye prototypes and discarded models.
Anything else?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revachol ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell you a story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Alright, what about the other ideas?
There was really just one. And it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back, disapproving.
Fritte does the same thing.
I know a girl just like that. She works in Frit as a cashier, and she's not particularly friendly.
Employing silky teenage girls is a widespread practice, yes. Unfortunately, they always come in packs. I'm talking about acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the shop. At least that's what happened with Revachol ICT. And they already had the bear.
I loved how she said the bear there. Just like fucking bubbled out of her throat really satisfyingly. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples and trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out?
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile Apex predator. To make matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted.
Ooh, that's not good for our body then, huh?
Eventually, Revachol ICT lost the price war to its rival, Glace 5000. Glace 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
Megatherian.
Sounds cool.
Does. Very cool, but I don't want... No, I do want a Megatherian?
Megatherian. A mega wild beast.
What's a mega wild beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life.
Like my cockatoo.
By telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
Hey, do you think that vision beast could guide me towards some amphetamines?
I don't, officer. You should stay away from drugs and vision beast. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad finishing the story. Some dust beams swirl in the afternoon air. Her eyes follow it idly.
Little sparkling embers under the window.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
I found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
So you're telling me that you have a doorbell there? Which one?
The one with an empty name card. It's the last one in the list. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
I have more questions about the intercom.
I'm pretty sure it still doesn't work.
I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
Actually, I had other questions.
I hope it clarified.
Fuck, we'll never get that. We'll never get that.
I'm listening.
Okay, I think that's
Good.
it.
I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
Leave. Dude. What an incredible character. Like, probably my favorite character in the game. It is so hard to do good people right in fiction without them coming off like Mother Teresa-y, or kind of like our protagonist. We like our protagonist because he's sad and pathetic, but like we kind of like feel bad for him, and that's our source of connection with him. It's really hard to do good people in fiction. She was delightful. The writing, the acting, the portrait is perfect, the backstory, just all absolutely amazing. Okay, I should probably call it here, but why don't we just go through what we need to do for next time, because there's a lot that we got to return this bowl. Actually, we can interact with the items that we have to interact with, and then we'll call it there. Nice. I'm excited to do that. See what these dice are all about. We'll shower tonight. We're just about done there. That might get us killed. Talk to the Hardy Boys next time. We gotta steal that, but probably after we talk to Pliacence. We'll see if that ever happens. We still gotta find speed. And I'm gonna spend $8, I think. 8, she said, for the dice. We're gonna have to find a little bit more money before the night's over. This is at what time? 2100. I think we still have time, right? We're not there yet. So in 3 hours, we'll go talk to him. We're about to do that. This will be tomorrow. We still need to find cigarettes. I think we can just buy cigarettes from Fred, can't we? We'll let that go. Victims' tattoos. We'll have to talk to some of the other mercs about that. Okay, let's interact with the... Wait, what is our updated stats here? 15 superstar cops, because, of course, 4 apocalypse cops. We gotta get that number up. 1 sorry, oh man, let's turn Canadian. 1 sorry cop, 1 boring cop, 3 communist, 8 fascist, 9 ultra liberal. When did I become so liberal? I was riding fascism this entire game. Now I'm a fucking ultra liberal. 3 moralist, 6 good cop, bad cop, 1 honor. Wonder what that means. That's his Harry, the dope ass police officer. Okay, so let's go to our inventory and we'll interact with these things that we haven't yet.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
Lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe.
S.
You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care. Sully Swaff.
So we should go downstairs, unplug that ice cream machine, retrieve the filament. Wonder who wrote that note.
Someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe it's because of the entity.
That's implausible.
Remind me again, what's a filament memory? I know what this is.
It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
Who's the illiterate ginger kid?
Really? You don't have a single guess?
No idea at all.
I'm placing my bets on a certain red-hat miscreant we met before. He'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Do you have any idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be? It's in the basement.
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the iceberg.
Didn't you see one right now?
A handwritten note you found from the giant... Okay. The bullet, baby.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found.
What do I do with you, bullet?
What?
I said, what do I do with you, bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say, find the weapon that shot me
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim.
Right.
In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Feel the bullet through the
The
bag.
squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
Inspect the bullet closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a jacketed bullet, close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Try to determine what type of weapon shot this.
A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique.
Make?
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you.
Nice.
That's the old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
So, I mean, sounds like I was completely wrong about it being our gun that fired this, the one we lost. Is anyone still making these rifles?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Belmargrave rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I think I know where this came from. Dangle the bag thoughtfully.
Okay. And?
Shot probably came from a Belmargrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Ravachol, really.
Why not?
Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Worth what? Getting shot?
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Seems we're looking for an antiques enthusiast.
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
I always need to check whether or not I can suss out whether or not if I click on a thing, if it's just going to progress, or if I can click through all of them. I clicked on that one thoughtlessly, thinking I could click through all of them without reading the other options, and it just progressed me. The bullet has nothing more to say. Put it away. Wait. A broken Belmargrave from ages past. It's a 4-shot, bolt-action military rifle with a wooden frame. Postcard, La Delta, 51. The sunlight has made this postcard almost completely sepia-toned. Sepia-toned? Midtime traffic passes. Overhead, the ghosts of skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist, vapor rising from the delta on which the district was built. The postcard is prepaid. A ball used for playing shot put, a favorite pastime of elderly gentlemen. You feel like you should hold on to this and make good use of it. To sell such beautiful old school sports equipment would be a sin. Okay, so we'll go give that to the older gentleman. Why don't we, What? What? Oh, it's because we bought the fucking map! Why are you showing Titus Hardy? Oh, this is so cool. The fuck does Kuno care? Man, this is great. This is really great. Happy about this. So... Man, this is a cool picture to, like, kind of get it all in your head, huh? And how small the area is that we've actually been to. Thinking about Joyce, and then the apartment buildings, whirling in rags, and then where we are now, the pawn shop. And then I guess once we open the water lock tomorrow, we can get over to the fisherman shacks and the church and maybe all this fun stuff out here. And I guess back here is all the dock workers and such, and we still need to talk to Everett, which we're obviously going to do next time now. Get past the supremacist. Still don't know how to do that. Like, I mean, we even have so many other things we have to do too. We have to talk to the gentleman in the apartment building, the cigarette smoker. Like, that doesn't describe everyone in this game. And then we do need to confront the Hardy Boys too. Man, we just have so much to do, and I feel like we need to talk to Joyce again about something too. I don't remember exactly what that's about. And now with this gun, I want to go talk to Roy, see if he has any input on these old rifles. Why don't we head to the basement real quick? In there, right? We'll head to the basement real quick. And try to turn off that ice cream. Enough with the creepy sounds, please. See if we can't find that filament that he was talking about in the note. We'll see if we can't take this. And if we can, I'll walk over to the bookstore owner and save there, and then we can tell her about the dice maker. That, or we'll probably just keep up the charade because it's funny.
Two cables are plugged into
the black
something
one, right?
close to you.
Why did you do that?
It's black. It's not like it's the red one. Because it's black, the color of immeasurable cosmos.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has one cable missing. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Gotta crack open the
You
lid.
slip your fingers under the frozen lid. But
We got a pry bar, baby.
This is going to need something else. Some kind of super pry bar. Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar.
Why?
You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
I feel like I don't want to turn the ice cream crank because there's something in there that might break.
This orange machine is dead still.
Wow!
It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner, and
Never
turning
mind.
the crank feels oddly satisfying, like
Oh.
stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping.
Okay. Need to get a better pry bar, I suppose. We'll come back later. Oops. Yeah, let's run back to the bookstore, and we'll just kind of stand there, because it's getting pretty late. I don't know what time the bookstore closes. Maybe 7-ish? Man, she's sit out here all day. Go inside. It's fucking cold. Okay, well, we wound up having a nice chonkier session than I thought I was going to. Played for about 3 hours. Save the game. We'll head to the main menu. Woof, well there we have it. Disco Elysium Night 5. Oh, it's 5, I believe. Man, that was really fun. That final conversation with the dice maker was really incredible. But even all the stuff with the bookstore was just so fun. I didn't expect it to take that much time, actually. But damn, that was really great. So interesting and creative and different. So we'll get to see the reaction of the witch next time. And we'll get to decide whether or not we want to lie to her or not. That'll be fun. And then we have to, you know, nose to the grindstone and actually start interfacing with the Union and all of this and start trying to figure out the actual investigation on hand. We found the bullet, though. We found the bullet. Our motherfucker was shot. Lely? What was his name? L-E-L-Y or something? Our boy was shot. And then hung up. Hanged up. Whatever. Oh, this game is so brilliant. It's so, so brilliant. I love it. It's just fun to explore this world. Just, the writing is so good. The characters are so interesting. The world is just so much fun. The events to peel back. Awesome. Okay, I'll be back with more soon, for sure. You can bet yo ass. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.